Welcome back to Co-Collector Spotlight number 2. Today I've invited on two of my good friends and fellow collectors who just recently started a podcast as well called Moodys Mind. So I'm going to bring in two of my good friends, Moodys Mind podcast, which is Joe and Mary Beth. What's up, guys?
Hi, guys. Hello.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
Hello. So it's good. My good friends here have just started their own collecting podcast, or just basically everything in general. Besides collecting, what else are you going to be showing or talking about, I should say?
First off, I want to say thank you for having us on the channel. We're big fans. We love you. You know that. My man has one of the best collections known around, and it's an honor to be on here again and see you. But no, we decided as a collective, based on our past experiences with you, to just come on here and kind of just share our thoughts and share what we love to do as a couple. And I always felt like two minds are better than one. So, she's always made me look good. She's always been the better half to our whole. So I couldn't think of a better person to do a podcast moving forward than with my fiance. So,
and she has the perfect initials for it too. My better half.
Yeah. No, we were talking about things we love to do. We make fun of just about everything we do together. Talking about our love for movies, collecting, music, just about anything going on with us, really. Taking people on for the journey with us.
And in the process, we have been so fortunate to meet, lovely people. And case in point, you, Pat, one of the reasons I said yes to doing this is because I think you're one hell of a dude. You're genuine. And let's just be honest. You have one of the best collections in the fucking world. So we have to bow down to the master and give respect is due. And we were just trying to bring a new perspective and just, be part of this lovely collection community that we love so much. So thank you for having us, my friend. Thank you.
Awesome. So I know the story pretty much, but those that may be watching this that don't know your backstory, what got you started collecting? And I think it was your better half that pretty much got you going.
Without a shadow of a doubt. If you were to ask me that question, I just literally go like this, point to her, because for me, if I'm into something, I need a little bit of motivation, somebody to push me to get to something or to want to do something. And she pretty much put me on this path that we're on, this collecting path. So it's been super fun because I have this need to, if I'm really passionate, if I'm really into something, I want to do it full bore. If you ain't going to do it right, don't do it at all mentality. And she got that started by buying me my very first Michael Myers pop, the Common, the first one was released, years ago. And that just kind of snowballed into what we do nowadays is we go on these hunts, we go looking, and we're very fortunate to live here in San Antonio, Texas, because as you know, Pat, like South Texas, San Antonio, it's a big horror community down here.
You guys have a lot of conventions and horror stuff. I mean, I will say that I have nothing by me. I'm fortunate enough to be, close to the New York, New Jersey areas. So the ones that they do have, I can drive to, but they're usually like 2.5 hours away. But you guys seem to have them all the time.
Yeah, we're actually very fortunate because there's a group of people or a company that has really spearheaded that. I believe the company is called Social Revolt. And then they have different names like the Kings of Horror, Kings of Horror. I think they kind of go by different names.
Yeah, that name I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, they have taken this whole horror thing and gone, next level, turned it up a notch. And for us, we love it because I'm a guy that's all about content. I'm all about what's next, what's coming up. We do a convention and I'm like, what's the next one lined up? Like, I can't wait, and we're kind of spoiled down here as of late. We've been spoiled.
Seriously, it seems like like when you guys post stuff like on your Facebook or on your Instagram, it's like I see you like at a convention or something else. I'm like, man, you don't get anything like. I mean, maybe it's probably good because I'd go broke, but like we don't get anything like that. I mean, we do get some good conventions, like Monster Mania is nearby, and the sideshow horror conventions nearby. And I can even go to Comic-Con in New York City, Comic-Con, and but like I said, it's all within 2 hours to 3 hour drive. It's not like like every other weekend like you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we you got the gas station that's in Bastrop.
That's
which
right.
is another, it's a great place to go to. You have, we get Frightmare every year in Dallas. We're spoiled. You got the Houston Horror Film Festival in Houston. You got a bunch of pop-ups. There's a lot of things that go on in Austin that a lot of people don't know about. Austin is popping, but it's more low key. I mean, there's just shit everywhere. I mean, we just had the big Texas Con here in San Antonio at the Henderby Convention Center. So, I mean, shit, you just look on a calendar and I'm sure there's something coming up soon in a town near you here in Texas. Something coming
Lucky.
up.
You guys are lucky. Well, I do have a question for Mary Beth, which I'm not sure I do know. Do you collect anything? I mean, I know what Joe's fan of a really collects, but what about you? What was it?
As a part of this, Joe has gone on the hunt and looked for a lot of horror stuff. However, he comes and buys me Batman. I love Batman. And I love
OG Batman, Dark Knight, which one?
And I love Buddy.
Buddy.
So I have a bunch of Buddy. I love Michael Keaton's Batman.
Okay.
I do love the Dark Knight series too. Heath Ledger was amazing. But I think I like the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton's still my favorite Batman. Yeah.
Oh.
Aside from the original, aside from Adam West.
Yes, I have the complete series.
So I love
Adam West as Batman. He's so fun. Cesar Romero as the Joker. Love it. Joe
the Riddler. Yep.
Joe is outing me because I also love Harry Potter.
Well, it's not like it's not popular. That's for darn sure.
Yes.
Sorry, I'll stop all this. We're moving, so this is just some leftover crap.
But the big stuff is, if we find anything Buddy the Elf, I gotta have it. Batman, I do have a lot of Batman pops. Batman pops is what I have. The most part, right?
Yeah.
So now when you guys get married, the blending this whole collection together, actually when you move in together, so now you guys are consolidating into one space.
Yeah.
Is it going to be like one giant room full?
We're figuring that out. Oh my goodness. My closet is like, there's less clothes. There's more collectibles in the closet as we figure this out.
That's a good woman, Joe. Usually more clothes than collectibles.
Yeah, we've really been paring down things.
I have to throw away a lot of stuff, a lot of clothes.
We've been paring down, and
what are these clothes doing in here? Get that out of here.
This is the collectible room.
We got space for shit here. We got a lot of space for stuff right here.
So as we're moving it, we're putting it, consolidating just into the closet and our room for now, and then we're gonna figure out how to display more.
Yeah, and for all you collectors out there who are curious about collecting, and it's not about finding everything. It's that you're then going to run into a problem as to where to put all this shit. Okay, if you don't have a designated spot that's climate controlled, you got to keep it out of the sun. Number one, you got to make sure it's got good enough, airflow. You don't want something too moist. You think about that before you start getting into this, because I didn't know about this. I had a rude awakening.
You know why? Because I had, if you can see right here, that's a window.
Yeah.
We're doing this at night right now. As of this recording, we're doing this at night. So if it was dark, it's fine. But when I put the shelf up that's right here years ago, there wasn't Halloween stuff up there. There was a couple of I still had some of my Mad Magazine stuff, and I had some All in the Family stuff because I had some like Archie Bunker stuff, some like 70s stuff that I had up there.
Awesome.
And I'm not thinking, because I didn't really see the sunlight coming through there, and a couple of things got sun faded. So when I started to expand everything over to here, because it's just expanding everywhere at this point, too much, as my wife is saying, I went and got black blinds and black curtains.
Yep. Smart man. And you learn that it's just experience. Nobody tells you this shit, and you have to learn the hard way, because if you spend all your hard-earned money on something that's very rare and time goes on, and it sits in the sunlight,
it's been yellowing.
It's gonna yellow. The cardboard might get fucking faded. If it's a comic book, it's gonna get faded. You know. Also, another key point. Can you hold this, my dear? I'm gonna make a mess. Well, maybe I don't have to show them. If you're gonna collect signatures, like if you go to these conventions that we mentioned that there's going on, and you want to go get celebrity signatures, somebody came up to us randomly and shared some valuable information, and that's what I love about the whole horror community.
It's so nice.
Yeah, I had this trapper keeper that I got at like Walmart, and it's got the plastic sleeves, and I would store the signatures in these regular ass sleeves, run of the mill. Well, I was at Frightmare, maybe a year or two ago? Was it Frightmare?
Houston.
Are you sure? It was one of those cons. And this guy randomly came up. He said, "Hey, man, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but, if I were you, I'd go ahead and invest in a portfolio that has, what is
Acid-free.
Acid-free. Sleep protectors, all that stuff. And you can get it like Michael's. And they're a little expensive, but it's going to protect your signatures."
Shoot, we went and got it for like $13.
I said, "Thank you so much." He's like, "Yeah, trust me." He's like, "Because I had a bunch of signatures and they went to shit when I didn't have them stored properly." Yeah. And he had the presence of mind to share that information with us, and it was the nicest thing ever. So I'm sharing this with you guys. So if you got a whole bunch of random signatures laying around and you have them in random ass sleeves, go to Michael's or wherever and buy acid-free, nice portfolios to protect them so they can last for a long time. So
I equate it to people, are familiar with like old photo albums. Sometimes when the pictures are stuck in there for so long, you want to take that picture out. You see that imprint is on that plastic. It's the same thing with photos that are signed and stuff like that. Because I learned that simply. That was the way I learned, just from like old photo books from my parents. I remember like trying to take some pictures out and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, because they didn't know back then all this stuff was going to stick. But you got a photo in an album for like 30, 40 years, and you go to take it out. It's like almost like an imprint, depending on where you kept it. Like you said, like if it's in a hot room, a lot of the old books were kept in an attic at my parents' house. So a lot of those old pictures, they still look good, but you can't take them out of the plastic because you'll ruin them. You just have to leave them. It's almost like they've been ironed on.
Yeah. And I know the struggles.
You just got to watch.
Absolutely. And the struggles of waiting in lines at these cons. Like there was people, from what I heard last year, waiting in line for Robert Englund. I mean, goddamn. I mean, they spent a whole day waiting for the man and still didn't get a signature, because it was overflow from COVID and shit. So once you get those signatures, why the fuck would you just let them go to waste like that? Protect your investment. So be prepared. If we could give you any kind of tip from what we've learned in this past, 2.5, 3 years of collecting, is be prepared to store your shit, and then prepare to, have to, make room for more shit.
Yeah.
That's a never-ending fight.
Yeah.
Because when you start, as you can see behind me, like I've told people on the podcast, because they see there's Myers this here with a Santa hat, and there's a tree over here, because this whole side of the room, let me see if I can get this. I'm getting better at this. This whole side over here is sitting in bins in the spare bedroom.
Yep. And tell me that's not a fucking kick.
I have to put the tree up. I figured by now the kids didn't care about this tree, but every year they're like, no, Dad, it's tradition, because we have multiple trees. We have a tree upstairs. My daughter's got a tree in a room. My son's usually has a tree in his room, but it's in his dorm room. He brought it to his dorm room, so the boys had a tree there. And we have this tree. So it's like the house of freaking trees. My electric bill is ridiculous. Yeah, and plus all the lights I have to put outside. So I thought I was going to get away with not doing it this year. I'm like, well, can't we just use the tree upstairs? Like, no, it's tradition coming downstairs. I'm like, all right, I'll box everything up and put it in the other room.
Yes, dear.
Yeah. Well, my wife didn't care because she never comes down here. She's just, but honestly,
you know what? That means you have a good spirit. That means that it sets the stage. Look at Mikey with the fucking Santa hat and shit. That looks great.
Very lovely.
Looks very good.
What I do enjoy is usually, like I said, times like this, where it's a little bit later, my wife goes to sleep. She likes to be in bed by 9 o'clock. Plus, she has to go to bed before I start snoring. So I have to make sure she's in a deep sleep, and I have to tippy-toe in before I get beat up. But sometimes I'll just fall asleep down here, which is fine. She don't care, because then she knows I'm not going to be snoring. But this is what I like about the tree and everything down here. I like because I have the fireplace over here. I'll put the fireplace on. I'll put like Black Christmas on. and I'll watch that, and then it's just a nice ambiance, and have a couple of snacks, and watch another. This is where I watch all the horror movies, because my wife, she'll like watch a horror movie, but she's not like into the gore. She'll like, she'll watch Halloween. She's fine with,
no Terrifier,
other ones, but she's like, she's Terrifier and Terrifier 2. Definitely, she wouldn't sit through that. No. My daughter likes to watch horror movies. She's always asking me for recommendations. She likes to watch, because her and her friends get together and watch smooth. She didn't make it past the hacksaw scene in Terrifier, though. She's like, oh, we turned it off.
Really?
She's like, we couldn't take that. I said, well, I guess then you really don't want to see Terrifier 2 then. If you didn't get past the hacksaw scene. I said, like, why is it worse? I said, yeah.
Don't do that.
My favorite movie of the year so far.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I remember when it came out, and it was having a limited release here in San Antonio, and I bought tickets and I didn't tell her. Because the motherfucker's 2.5 hours long, right? So
it is long.
You don't. If, as a guy, bro, if you're gonna go to the movies, if it's long, you don't say how long it is. You just say we're going to the movies. You break the news while you're in the fucking seat at the theater. You don't say. Mm-hmm. So by the time we got there, she hadn't seen the first one, but I kind of got her up to speed. And then
I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
We get to the fucking theater, we get started, and she's like, after it was all said and done, all that time, she's like, she looked at me, she's like, I enjoyed that. I was like,
it's because he's kind of funny. He's kind of funny.
It is. It does have its amusing parts, but the thing is, it was done so well that all the scenes kept you engaged, so it didn't feel like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
it went by pretty darn quick. It was, that enjoyable. And I remember telling my wife about it, and I was telling her all the stuff that goes on. She's like, "Oh yeah, I don't need to see that." I said, "But it's funny, article." She's like, "I don't need to see that."
I think if I got a synopsis, I wouldn't have wanted to watch it. But since I was already there,
did you see part 1, MB?
No.
Oh, you didn't. I mean, you kind of don't need to.
Yeah.
Because it's really not like a continuation. Because basically everybody in the only part that I guess you kind of needed to see the first one for is the very end.
Oh yeah.
Girl, gives birth to the baby.
That was my only question.
Yeah. Other than that, the scene at the beginning where he just comes out, where it's the morgue. Remember, because that was the ending of the other movie. Oh. Yeah, he's just like,
I love it.
His mannerisms. Oh, his new movie's coming out too.
Say it. Say the main one.
I'm so excited.
She's so excited. She couldn't wait to talk to you about this shit.
As of this recording, it's not out yet. It comes out
Friday, I think.
Friday, right? I think it's Friday. It comes out, right? Yeah, so we have to check.
Look at my honey having research under the belt, man.
I know.
I didn't even ask for this shit. Oh,
co-host right there.
It's Christmas.
I'm creating a monster. And this is something I wanted to share with you, because I think in my mind, what makes a movie good and memorable is that, because people nowadays are their attention spans are fucking short as shit, right? People can't really stay focused, and they just it's just whatever. When a movie I can literally break that movie down into sections, beginning, middle, and then the end. Like, I can break the movie down, and it is stuck up here. When the movie can tap into your mindset and your ability to retain it, that's a good fucking movie. I don't give a fuck.
It should be. All movies like, if a movie is cohesively done, you should be able to identify the first act, the middle act, and the third act. You should be able to do that. So exactly, if it's just a big giant mess and it's just blending together, sometimes it's not the greatest movie, unless it's a movie that's supposed to be like that. Like if it's like a compilation, like a creep show movie where it's different segments. Of course, it's going to be broken up. But if you can identify the beginning, the middle, and the end, then they did their job right.
Yeah, because that, to me, that's how I'm able to remember what happens in movies. As I have to think, when did this take place in the film? And then I can identify where it was, and it helps me remember it better. And that movie is I've only seen it one time, and that was in the theater, and I can still remember what took place vividly. And it was that good of a movie. That's what makes a movie, in my opinion, so good. That's why you go back and revisit these movies that you love so much, like Black Christmas. Mm-hmm. I believe you just had a watch along, right?
We just watched Black Christmas, and last night as of this recording last night, we did Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah, like those are movies that, you can't forget. They're with you every year because it had such an astounding effect on you when you first saw it back when. You know, those movies are eternal. They last forever in your mindset. You know.
And our next up one is going to be Christmas Evil, like I said, which is even better. Which most people, you know, that movie kind of flew under the radar because it's such a B movie, and I mean, a lot of people do know of it, especially the horror fanatics like ourselves. But my big thing is, like I've said before, it was filmed in my hometown. I watched actual scenes being filmed that I remember. I can say, okay, I was over here when they filmed this part and that part. They didn't film the whole movie in my town. It was between my hometown of Edgewater and a town which is probably about 45 minutes away called Montclair. So I don't know why they. You know what? That's where the big house was. If you remember the house in the beginning, and where it ended up at the end. The bigger houses, they don't have those kinds of houses where I grew up. That was in Montclair, which is a lot big, stately, a lot of money homes. And so I'm looking forward to that and sitting through. I haven't watched it yet because I'm just trying to. I'm not because usually I've already watched all these horror movies by now. As soon as the tree goes up, I'm watching the Christmas horror movie. So I'm like, I'm just gonna wait. So it's like fresh in my mind the first time I've watched it this year. So that should be a lot of fun. And then I don't know where we're gonna go after that. But I know I have to see Violent Night because
want to see that.
Our good buddy Brett saw it and said it was really good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, when I was sick with COVID, we got a chance to fucking binge watch Stranger Things, and we're big fans of the guy who plays Santa. It was David something, the big fella. The guy from Stranger Things. So he's the guy who plays
that series. I have to get back on it. My daughter's like, Dad, because she finished it. She loves that series. And she showed me some of the ones in the beginning, like the first season. But I just never got back into it. Not because I didn't enjoy it, because let's face it, there's so much content and thing going on. I never got it. But one of these, that might be something, as this winter progresses, I can sit and binge watch. I gotta get back on finishing.
David Harbour is the guy. David Harbour. He's the guy who plays.
I know exactly who he is. I've seen him.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, speaking of Stranger Things,
and the cons we've been to,
and the cons that have been happening here locally in San Antonio, we were very fortunate enough to meet the gentleman who actually was in the suit of the Demogorgon. Long story short, when I was sick with COVID, I couldn't really go anywhere, and I wanted to kind of express my creative side. So after we had seen the series, we took and we had some like canvases, little and we had some paint laying around. So we ended up painting Demogorgons. We actually, fate would have it, we ended up meeting the guy who played the Demogorgon, and we had him sign the paintings that we did when I was sick. Remember when I had to miss the podcast and all that shit when I was sick?
Yeah.
Yeah. All this transpired then, and here's a photo of it.
Recently, we met him.
Oh, very cool.
That's the guy who played the Demogorgon, and those are our paintings in our hands, which he signed. And I mean, talk about full circle. And he was the nicest guy possible. Fucking, and I had to get it. It was a surprise to her. I had it framed, and here you go, honey. Yeah.
So party collections are, meeting some of the celebrities from the movies that you like and getting their signatures. I know most of the ones that Joe has. What about you, Mary Beth? Anybody that you met that you were have any signatures for, or is it just
Hey, little mama, Jamie Kennedy?
Oh my god!
Hey, shawty.
When we went to Frightmare last year, they had the cast of Scream, and I love Jamie Kennedy, so I beelined to his line.
Yeah, how was he?
I know. I was like, "Will you sign this and put it to my shouty MB?"
How was he? Was he cool?
He's so nice. He was taking pictures with my mom. He was super cool. He was very chill. I was the last one in his line before he had a photo op. And he spent extra time with me and my mom and my cousin.
What's his name? Did a photo bomb, didn't he?
Oh my God, yes. Matthew Lillard got in my photo. He photo bombed me and Jamie Kennedy. So I got That's a 2-for-1. Super.
There you go. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
They put to my shouty to NB.
That's cool.
He was so fun.
This guy.
Another guy I enjoyed meeting was what's his name? The new Herman Jeff Daniel.
Oh, Jeff Daniel Phillips.
Oh yeah, he was super nice.
She's a big fan of the Munsters. She left that part out. She loves the OG Munsters.
Yeah.
OG.
Oh, I'm the OG monsters, I'm big on. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a fun watch.
Oh, she liked it.
I liked it. Sherry Moon Zombie is different, but that's
that was probably the only weakest part of it.
Yeah.
She was kind of overplaying the Lily Munster part of it. But Jeff Daniel Phillips, I thought he was funny. He was fun. Richard Brake as Count Orlok was hysterical as Nosferatu.
Yes.
He looked dead on, and he was friggin' hysterical.
Yes.
Amazing.
So I enjoyed it. I mean, you know what? Yeah. When it comes to Rob Zombie movies, there's always going to be those people that just trash them no matter what. Oh, he's all white trash. Okay, well now he gave you a movie that wasn't white trash, and you're still trashing it.
Yeah. Haters gonna hate.
Movie. Stop being a critic. Just enjoy it for what it is. And I enjoyed it for what it is. I wasn't going in there with no big expectations of this thing being Oscar worthy. But I think he did a nice job.
It's entertaining,
and it was enjoyable to watch. I mean, my only flaw is I think we did a review on the Munsters movie. I don't remember, but. My only thing I didn't care for was the way it ended, just like so abruptly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was just like they got all this money, they're throwing the money, and it ended like, well, what happens now? So I just maybe that was the door to see, maybe the door to a part 2. So,
yeah,
but it could have
like proceed to TV show.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It was more
proceed to series that already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
a prequel.
Yeah.
So now with you guys doing this together, I know Joe is, the over-caffeinated collector. He's always on the hunt for stuff. So you guys are going to be doing this together, this venture. What are you guys on the hunt for? I know Joe is usually on the hunt for. What about you, Envy?
That's a good question. That's all you.
I think still the same things. We're always on the hunt for anything Michael Myers, anything horror related. And then if I find something in the meanwhile, I mean, my honey will get it for me.
Now, the thing about the Michael Myers things is you know, because your collection is just you have opened my eyes to things that I didn't know were collecting worthy or collectible worthy. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. Some people are like, "Oh, I didn't think to collect that." So it's just
yeah.
And
that's who I am.
I don't know. For me, I don't know how you found these things out, but it's fortunate. I'm fortunate enough to hear about these things, especially looking at your Instagram page where you have a catalog of all this stuff. The collectible spotlights that you do that gives you further insight on these things. It gives you background information. You cut all the guesswork out, and I love that. And you allow me to kind of broaden my horizons in terms of what I'm looking for when I'm trying to find things in person. For example, like I remember we did an episode on vinyls. I didn't have any vinyls whatsoever, and we did an episode. I learned from that, and then now I can't stop finding vinyls.
I think the next week he went out and bought 3.
Yeah, I got a whole fucking bin full now. So it's like you learn. As you learn and as you grow, you start, finding out new things about this world of collecting. Yeah. So nobody's born, it's not like it's the fucking Matrix and we fucking tap in and we fucking get downloaded with all this information. We live and we learn. So
we're still learning.
My advantage to some of the odder things, because I have a lot of as you know, my collection. I have a lot of the promotional stuff, or like a lot of the rare posters and lobby cards, all that stuff, and people are like, wow, I never thought to collect all that stuff. I go, well, the reason I started that is because back in like the 80s, that's all you could find.
Yeah.
There were no Michael Myers t-shirts in 100 different places like Walmart or any stores. There were no Michael Myers figures. All you had was that cheap ass mask from Don Post that, where he looked like Ronald McDonald. He was like,
yeah.
But so that's what I collected. I'm like, especially when eBay started, I remember Googling Michael Myers or Halloween, and most of the stuff that came up was basically promotional stuff back then.
Yeah.
And
so that's the stuff I love.
Yeah.
That's probably why, like you love your Funkos, because that's what pretty much started your collecting. That's why I love that promotional stuff, because that's what I collected, because that's all I could find at the time. And for me, it's always been about the movies. Otherwise, I wouldn't be collecting this shit if it wasn't for the movies. So if I could get like a press kit, or like the reels, or I have the 35 millimeter reels, the 16 millimeter, all that stuff.
Them big some bitches.
Those big heavy. Heavy.
Love the spotlight, by the way. Sorry.
Oh,
like,
the
I didn't
35
know that.
millimeter. Right. You
I
said
didn't know that.
the trailers. Yeah, they're not a lot. And I made it very clear. I'm like, there's not much I can show here because they're pieces of film. The only one I actually unfoiled, I think, was the commercial, just to show you that the 16 millimeter commercial. But it's just it's cool stuff. And one of these days, if I ever, you got to remember, 35 millimeter projectors are big.
Yeah.
There's not like those old like Super 8s, like your dad or your mom might have had when they were younger. Like those are the home movies that I saw, like with the 8 millimeter, the Super 8s.
Yeah.
The 35 millimeter ones are big. Even the smallest ones are big. So I'll probably never be able to watch that. The 16 millimeter ones, I'm not sure about. I don't know how big those projectors are.
And
that's why I like that stuff. I love that stuff. Anything promotional, send it my way. I'll take it.
No, and for me, it's we got to pay homage to, old school collectors, in my opinion, because, they're the ones who sharing the knowledge. You don't have to share shit with us. This platform that you use and you don't have to share this information with us, but it's nice of you, and you do it out of the kindness of your heart. And it allows dum-dums like me to go out there and be like, hey, that this is out there and we're looking for it. I can, we all go off and, act like we know this shit when we really don't. And that kind of goes along with movies. I think that's what makes me love movies, is because you learn new things from people's perspectives. Her perspective gives me new insight on how to look at a movie, because I can only look at it through my lens. What I hear from you, I learn from what you say. I learn from what she says. This community we have, it allows us to learn and evolve, because
your movies too. That I will say that, because anytime we were talking about movies or something like that, you definitely have a very large database of movies in that Moodys Mind of yours.
That's a good and a bad thing. And movies to me growing up was an escape. It allowed me to transport where I was and be somewhere else. And people you hear, I'm sure you heard people say that it's so corny of an answer, but it's true. That's the only way I could get out of the reality of my life, was to live through these movie characters and feel what was going on through these movies. And horror just happened to be that genre that I took to at an early age.
Yeah.
And, nobody really understood me and why I liked it, but where I come from, it's like, oh, that kid needs help. That kid has some problems, he's
that was it. Like
all that shit.
I would come home with the weirdest looking boxes from the video store, and my mother would be like, "What are you watching? Why are you watching?" Like thinking I'm like young Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie version. Like, oh, should we go get him checked out? Because are you like torturing animals and stuff in the back of the house and shit?
Exactly.
Honestly, I found like horror through Halloween, because I told you the story. I didn't know anything about it. It came on and I was like, whoa, this is freaking cool. And then it's like it's like drugs. It's like the first one's free.
It's the perfect. Halloween is the perfect gateway drug. Yeah,
it's my perfect gateway drug. It's like when I first saw Halloween, it's like, forget it. I didn't start with pot. It's like, man, I went right for the meth, and it just kept going.
If you look at Halloween and then you look at Terrifier 2, look how far we've come.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know what I'm saying? Like those are two. If a movie can be considered a measuring stick, that's a great fucking movie. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Mm-hmm.
You can, in the middle, you can pick what you like, but beginning and end right now in today's world, I'd say Halloween, based on influence and nostalgia, and Terrifier 2 for being as fucking badass as it is. Come on, that to me lets you know where we're going. It's gonna just keep going. It's gonna just keep going. It's gonna keep going further and further.
So what do you guys do when you guys start doing like regular episodes? You're gonna start doing like once a week, twice a week, once every other week?
Probably once a week. We just have to figure out what day works best for us.
Yeah. We've been talking about it. We've been trying to. I think what we'll do is just keep it to based on like kind of like a feel, because some days that we're exhausted and the last thing we want to do is do something like that, and some days we're like, hey, let's have some wine and fucking knock this shit out. So it might be something that's not a set day. It might be something that one week we do a Tuesday and then the next week we do like a Thursday or Friday, or or we might do some kind of spontaneous thing like we're doing tonight. Who knows? But I don't think it'll be a set date. I'm getting into the know-how of how to schedule things and, map it out. So I think once I learn how to do that and we get into having things scheduled, maybe we might have a set schedule. But for now, it's just going to be, as we see and we're available time-wise and all that stuff to do it.
It's going to be live or pre-recorded. You did the first one was live, right?
Yeah. And I like live.
I think I was upstairs watching TV with my wife. I didn't even know. And I came downstairs. I was like, hey, it's Joe and MB.
No, I like the live aspect. She doesn't like I
like the live aspect too.
Like it, but I don't like the idea of me having to go back and edit shit.
I can feel me.
It's like one and done.
Yeah. Us guys, one and done. So, but no, for me, it's like just go live. Put all your nuts in the basket, get it done, and then it is what it is. We're not here to polish things or make us look a certain way. If we are who we are, and whatever comes out comes out. Like, that's what I think I love about what we're doing now is we're just going off the cuff, and you make it easy for us to just talk. You're a good conversationalist, man.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I keep turning around. My cat's being a little bit crazy.
I was wondering, they keep turning. I'm like, somebody's breaking in. Is the Michael Myers thing coming alive? Something's going on behind
No, it's the cat.
Oh, did you tell him about the video? Tell him the story.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
When we were recording, I didn't realize this. It was after I watched the recording for Moodys Mind. This guy is moving back and forth a little bit, and I'm like, "What the heck?" And he's like, "It's the cat," and I'm like, "Of course."
I did notice that, and I thought the same thing. I'm like,
yeah.
What am I thinking? I just saw Michael Myers move a little bit, and I kind of figured I remembered you had a cat.
Hashtag paranormal, and I'm just like, it's the cat.
The weirdest thing about that cut up, I don't know if I showed you guys or maybe I showed Joe, is where mine is over here. It's usually on the right side over here. I just put over here because it's by the tree with the Santa hat. But I forget. I took a picture. I don't know if it was one of the spotlights, and the way the angle hit his face. And it lit up his eyes. It was the creepiest friggin'. I got to see if it's still on my phone. I'll have to send it to you guys. It was creepy. It was like his eyes were glowing. I was like,
what?
I'm looking at it. I'm like, it's not glowing, but now it's glowing. I'm like, well, it was, I guess, however the flash was or whatever. It was the creepiest friggin' thing. I got to see if it's still on my phone. It's always fun seeing anomalies. And actually, this mask right here. Let me see if I can get it. No, the other way. 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 That mask right up here. The one in the corner.
Yeah.
Like during the day, even with the blinds and the black curtain, if the sun it rises in the back of my house because the east is the back, and then by the end of the day, the west side is the front of the house. So when it comes up for about an hour or so, you'll see a little bit of light peeking through there, but not enough that's going to harm anything because it's just like a crease, and it lights up that one mask, and the eyes glow.
Oh shit!
And I was sitting here one day, and I'm you're just sitting, and you're like, because you feel like somebody's watching you, because it's aimed in this direction, so it's looking at the camera when I'm doing the videos. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, what the hell is that? It's cool as hell. I got to see if there's a picture of it. It was just and I told my wife, I'm like, quick, come downstairs, come take a look at this. She's like, what? I go look at that. She's just like, that is creepy as hell. Why did you show me that?
Oh, she likes paranormal stuff, right?
She likes paranormal stuff, but yeah, all this stuff is just, like I said, it's funny because the room over here is her tack room where she keeps all her horse stuff. And if I'm down here, like whether I'm doing this or, just editing or just like I've told you before, she'll just walk by and look at me.
Shame.
And then she's like, you've taken over everything. Because over there's all family photos. She's like, you're going to take the family photos down, Nesk, and start throwing Halloween stuff up over there too? I'm like, maybe.
I just might. Because
it's just when it comes to collecting, you guys know the pains of it. There's just not enough room, especially when they come out with some really big things. I mean, especially when you have all the masks. Like I have all the masks sitting, a bunch of them sitting on a chair over there because I'm like, where do I put all these freaking masks? I mean, I've been wanting to get all my CDs over here. I've been trying to figure out a place to put them so I can get like those clear acrylic cases that light up. Yeah. And put stuff in there because everybody's like, oh, you should put you don't have any of those cases. I'm like, I have the room for them. If I could figure out where to put all my CDs, I'm thinking about just putting them there because they'll light up nicely and stuff like that. You have, I'm trying to remember when you had your collection. No, you have like shelves and stuff. You don't have those light up cases yet, right?
We have one of the cases. We haven't put lights in it yet.
Yeah, we're trying to, but we got to buy a couple more of the ones that you get at IKEA.
IKEA ones, yep.
Yeah, those are cool. Like we have one that we bought and we got up, and some of the stuff that we moved from here over there is there. We probably have to buy at least 2 or 3 more, at least, to fit the majority of the shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it kind of sucks because I'm already looking at things. I'm like, man, I gotta sell some of this shit. I was like,
but that's okay. We have a lot of
this shit, man.
Because we like pops. Like we have a lot of pops that we're like, wow, this is so cool in the store. And we bought it, and now we're like, we can sell that and get more Mikey stuff.
And
you're gonna do that. Yeah, that happens. I've done it too over the years. You know, where because I've told you and I've told the story before where I was on a trajectory where I collected everything. I had all the Rob Zombie Halloween stuff. I had stuff from 4, 5, 6, everything you could think of. But with the onslaught of stuff coming out, I'm like, I can't do this financially and space wise. I can't collect every single thing from every movie. So my collection is basically centered around 1, 2, 3, and a sprinkling of the other movies. Things I like, and I'll just keep certain things. But that's what it's going to come down to. I'm telling you. So you'll wind up selling stuff. I mean, the Rob Zombie stuff, there's days where I regret it because it's gone up a lot in value. And the thing about the Rob Zombie stuff is they made what they made and that was it. They don't make any more zombie stuff.
It's not like this H2 shit everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but not like, where, this year was like the year of Halloween too, where they hoarded out on anything that stood still long enough. It's like somebody must have stole the KISS playbook of how to put your brand on every single thing that does, you had the Halloween 2, Michael Myers, Chia Pet, the Zen Garden.
Which is cool, by the way. The Zen Garden is cool.
I like the Zen Garden. The only thing I was disappointed is when I saw it, I was surprised how small it is.
It's a fucking it's a little bastard.
Yeah, it's like that big. I'm like, why did that? I'm like, I was thinking it was going to be something you can stick on your desk, like a nice little thing. And I'm like, it's the size. Yeah, he's got, look,
it's the size of
she's little.
Some cigarettes.
Yeah, she is
like a pack of cigarettes. Yeah, it's so damn small. I'm like, why didn't they make this thing bigger? I would have paid a couple dollars more to have it bigger.
No.
And this bitch is $20. Shit.
Yeah, and all the stuff that came out from that was in Lowe's, all the H2 stuff. All the H2 stuff that was in Spencer's and FYE. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just somebody Universal said, hey, everybody's buying Halloween stuff. And they had the license. Let's just slap it on everything. And they sure as hell did.
Yeah, I think I even at one point saw a fucking H2 toilet seat.
No.
While you're taking a number 2.
I haven't seen it, but I would buy it. Like even.
No, I'm just playing. That's a joke.
Let me look that up real quick.
That was a joke. I'm sorry.
Even right down to the Halloween 2 freaking tote bag.
There you go.
Yeah, that was at Party City, right?
No, I got this. Was it Party City?
I think I saw something like Party City.
It might have been. They didn't have it in the store though. When I looked, I found it online.
Huh.
I just happened to check one day, and I was like, "Oh, because for those that don't know, I'm in Pennsylvania, but I work in New Jersey, and New Jersey has a no plastic bag law now. So you go to the store, if you don't have a bag, you're carrying all that shit out in your hands.
That's how Austin is.
Yeah,
so you have to keep So I have these ugly bags in my car. Some are flowers and stuff, and I'm like, I'm walking out of the store with a flower bag. I'm like,
gotta toughen it up a little bit.
I'm like,
toughen it up a little bit.
They were like $10. They were real cheap, and usually you go into Walmart or any of those places, you pay $5-6 for the reusable bag. So I'm like, for $10, I got a Halloween one, so I had one in each car. Well, not my wife's car. She's like, I'm not walking around with a Michael Myers bag. But for me, I keep them in the cars, and and they're big. I mean,
we need to send him some bags from HEB.
We do.
If you look at the size of them, they're actually really big. They hold a lot of stuff.
That is really big.
That's a good bag to hold a lot of collectibles, my friend.
Yeah.
Well,
take it to Monster Mania, one of those cons, and just throw all the shit in there.
I rock that bitch proud. I wear that thing butt naked.
There you go. Well, how long are you gonna last? They might throw you out.
No, I'll be like, oh no.
What's that?
You can stay.
Yeah, it's like just as you walk, just have the bag hide the goods, and you're good.
Yeah, it looks like a loincloth, like a big.
The bag can hide the bag.
You can tie one in the front, one in the back.
You wouldn't mind, right? You wouldn't mind.
So, going forward, with the format you're going to be doing with your channel, is it going to be like, you spotlighting collectibles, or you're going to show stuff you just bought? You're talking about, music or things you did, or what's it going to be? Or is it just you're going to have a theme for each that you're going to advertise? Like you say, this week we're going to discuss Terrifier 2 and look at this or whatnot. Just when people tune in, they know what they're getting into. Just curious.
Absolutely. No, that's a good question. No, what we're trying to do is we would like to have things arranged in a manner the way it's going to include a movie,
a corresponding
collectible to that movie. That's and good. Then music is a big part of our lives, especially, for me, for example, I have a friend of mine named Justin who is in a band called Celebrity Sex Scandal. And they, you can actually find their music, I think, on Spotify, on Apple, on iTunes Music, et cetera, et cetera. And their music is very eccentric. It's quirky. It's metal. It's melodic. It's instrumental. I mean, the list goes on and on. How broad of a spectrum this band covers. And I'm a personal friend of the lead singer, and I love them so much that I wanted them to come sing at my 30th birthday party. That's how much I love these guys and their music. And they just dropped a new album, and I was privy enough to hear it. I stayed up late last night listening to the new album, and I'm so fucking stoked for the world to hear it, for friends of celebrity and family of celebrity, whatever fans to hear this stuff, because it's gnarly as fuck. And gnarly is my word. She hates the word gnarly. So no, I do miss your review when the movie is just straight ass cheeks. Straight ass cheeks. This album that I heard
one day, I said something was really bad one day. I was like, oh man, that's straight ass cheeks. So I was like, no.
Straight ass cheeks. It's trash. But no, this album is the opposite of ass cheeks. This album was just phenomenal, and we would love to incorporate music that we listen to in what we're talking about, because
we have a really wide range of what we listen to. Yeah. So at face value, he'll say, I listen to Slipknot, listen to all this rock. In the car today, we were listening to 90s one-hit wonders. So we listen to everything.
I'm like that too. I mean, you can go over to my CDs and you can find everything from, the Dead Kennedys to Jaco Pastorius, if you like jazz, or or you can go find I love all the oldies. I grew up on the oldies with my father. He loved all his doo-wop stuff. You can find Irish music because my dad loved his Irish music, or like classic country. I mean, you can find everything over here. Because I tell people, when people are like, oh, you listen to that? I'm like, I just listen to what I like. Why is it got to be like, oh, you can't? Oh, that's gross. Well, you know what? If you don't like it, that's fine. But I do.
Right.
So sure. I can listen to I love all those 70s one-hit wonders and 60s and the bubblegum shit. I listen to everything. To tell my kids that, every weekend I'll be listening to, I to this day, every Saturday afternoon, I still put on Sirius and listen to the Casey Kasem countdowns from the 70s.
Casey Kasem.
Every Saturday afternoon, I'm usually, especially in the summertime, I'll put it on, sit outside, have a beer, hang out in the pool or something like that. And they all know the theme song from Casey Kasem. They know who he is because Dad listens to it every Saturday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So I just listen to anything and everything. That's what it is. I'm like, if I like it, I like it.
There you go.
And I think that's what's so good about music is my range of music is a lot bigger than it is for movies, and I can't explain why. I don't know why I
know you do. Makes sense.
Like I love comedies, I love all that, but if you had to tell me what I would like to watch, it's horror movies. But music, I could give a shit. It could be whatever.
I'll be listening in a country, and he's like, "What is this shit?" And then he's singing along. So
we got to see George Strait for the first time.
Oh my god, that was awesome!
And the tough guy in me, I'm like, George Strait, all right.
He's the king.
We fucking get there, dude. And then I turn into a fucking baby. Like, I'm like, I look at her all sentimental. Can you believe we're actually seeing George Strait? I was like, I can't fucking believe that in my lifetime we're actually seeing George. Because, you know, growing up, he was up here, you know, to my parents and to my family. Like, you know, I never thought, you know, where I was, I'd never seen him before that I would actually be seeing.
And I mean, he lives in the San Antonio area, but he's so far removed from us common people.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see him at the grocery store.
No, you see him
like
with the price of admission. And that's
Yeah.
what the fuck that's what you pay for that
Oh.
shit.
Yeah.
You don't fucking.
That's how it is these days, because, you know, as I'm sitting here talking about my CDs, it's the days of physical media are almost all but dead. So they need to tour to make money.
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't really gone to any shows because, like bigger shows, because I see prices and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
it's like, oh my God, it's like you got to mortgage a house to buy some of these.
Yeah.
You see that bullshit? Because I'm a big Metallica fan. They just announced this 2-year tour because they just had the new single come out and all this stuff. I was like, fucking VIPs is like fucking $5,000 to $7,000 fucking dollars. And I looked at that because I had heard the first single and I'm like, I'm digging the single because it's like old school type shit. And I looked at the prices. I'm like, you out of your fucking mind. I'd never pay something like that to go fucking VIP.
Nope, neither would I. And I'm a diehard Kiss fan, and I would never pay that to see them either. I would. There's nobody on this planet I would pay that amount of money. And the thing is, I listen to Eddie Trunk. Yeah, I don't know if you guys listen to Eddie Trunk. I listen to Eddie Trunk. I've been
radio
listening
personality.
to him.
Love him.
He started on a local New Jersey channel back in the early '80s, and I've been listening to him since then. And it's great that he was just a DJ, and he always had a metal show, which he still does on the weekends and out of New York. But on series, he does all the interviews and just talk. And I always listen to him on the way home from work usually, or even if I'm home listening to him. And people are always calling in, talking like they were calling in about the Metallica stuff, like all the prices. And he's like, I can only tell you one thing: you pay, but you show them how it is with your wallet. If you got to pay the money, they're going to keep charging it. When you stop paying, maybe they'll sober up and the prices will go down. So there's nothing you can do until people are going to complain and complain. I'm not going to go like when they had the stadium tour and the tickets were real expensive, and people are like, but they're selling out. So people are going. So the more you pay, they're just going to keep doing it. And I made a conscious decision, like, sorry, I'm not spending that amount of money. Like, my wife is a big Rolling Stones fan, and I was going to get tickets. I mean, like nosebleed seats right out of the gate were like $600-700. I'm like, no freaking way.
Oh,
I'm sorry. So like 2 weeks ago, we went to a Stones tribute band. It was like $60 for the two of us to go.
Knocked your shocks off.
Yeah.
And they were great. We had a ball. We had a couple of drinks. It was funny. It was fun. The guy the Keith Richards guy had it down pat. He was dead on. The singer looked a lot like Mick. Singing could have been a little bit better. He wasn't so bad. A little over singing here, but the Keith Richards guy could have been his body double. It was hysterical.
Okay. No, I love cover bands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm like, let's give it $30 to these guys or $60 to these guys. We had a great night out, had a couple of drinks, and she got to see all the Stone songs she loves, and we didn't go broke. Yeah,
and it's the fact that these cover bands, they love music.
Yeah,
they love it. Their cover bands are much like this podcast we're doing. They do it for fun. They do it because they love it. And you're a musician, you play in a band, you know how it is. It's just getting out there and having fun and playing music that people can reminisce about and recall, and it brings back old memories and feelings. Fucking love cover bands. Fucking shout out to all the cover bands out there.
We played this past Saturday. We played it's a Toys for Tots fundraiser.
Nice.
And we didn't get paid for it. They gave us free food and free drinks and everything, but it's like, and it was either, you bring a wrap gift or like a $20 donation, and there was food, cash bar and whatnot. And we're walking in like, oh, you guys are the band, don't worry. I said, no. I'm like, here's $20. They're like, well, why are you paying? I'm like, well, because it's a donation. It's for a good cause. It's going to kids. I don't care. Paying $20. I mean, if you guys were just taking the money, it's a different story, not paying us. I said, it's for Toys for Tots. Yeah, I'm like, here's $20. I don't care. I'm going to play music, have fun.
I'm not here to make money.
You're gonna give me free food.
What's wrong? And I applaud that. I applaud that because, you know, we don't go out and openly like donate to certain organizations, but we donate in ways that we feel we need to give back. You know, like little change here and there. You see somebody in need, hey, I'm gonna pay for your lunch. Hey, here's this, here's that.
Pay it forward.
All that shit reciprocates. All that shit comes back to you. And I love doing things that nobody knows about and just keeping it quiet. And just like you talked about, just like what you just said, is like, hey man, hey, this is going to a great cause. This is, come on, this isn't, you know, it's not that big of a deal to me. It's what's right. You know, it's what's right.
Yeah, we had a great time. You played some Christmas songs, played some dancey stuff. People had a great time. Saw some people I hadn't seen in a while that they came out to support it, to come see us and everything. And it's like, you had a great time. So we do a lot of benefits. They always call us because they know some bands just don't want to be paid for everything. And I'm like, no, if it's for a good cause, I'm like, I don't have a problem coming out and playing, you know. And they, like I said, they usually, you know, give you free drinks, so you don't have to pay for that. You don't have to pay for food. It's like a night out, and I get to play my guitar. I don't care, and it's helping something.
Fine. What's not to like? What is it?
Absolutely.
We need to get invited to cons and just be like, you want to get paid? No, I just want to be at the con, motherfucker. I just want to be in the con.
You want to come hang out and see everybody. That's it, man.
That's it. So for all you show runners out there, you know, for if you have a collector's corner, you know, like you get to nominate a couple of collectors and have them have a booth, and people want our signatures. Sign us up, man. We're down. We'll do it for free.
Yeah.
We'll do it for free. I'm gonna start a new wave of shit.
Yeah.
Like convention for collectors.
Maybe we should just bring our table.
Yeah. I'll bring the table. I'll bring everything. You don't gotta do nothing. Just let me in the building.
Just open the door and say, come on in.
That's it. We're gonna start a new wave of shit. We're gonna start our own shit there, Pat. We're gonna start our own convention. The collectors convention. How about that?
I'm game. You know me.
Sounds crazy, but it sounds pretty good. Yeah.
So speaking of going to cons and collectibles, is there anything that you guys are actively looking for your collections?
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's always grails that you want and things, but like, there's something that you're, you know, actively looking for that you're like, oh shit, I got to see if I can catch that. Something that's out that you haven't gotten your hands on yet.
Oh, good question. I'm still curious if they're going to come out with something from Ends. I got wind. I listened to what's his name's podcast. That Trick or Treat is coming out with the masks. What did they wear in Ends at the party? It was like a black cat, and then
the retro mask.
Yeah, and you had like the retro scarecrow mask.
The scarecrow mask. I'm looking forward to those. They haven't been announced yet, but those sound like super fun. I'd love to have those in my collection because I don't hate Ends. I don't hate it either.
I'm a little disappointed at some of the choices they made, but I'm not gonna sit there and say I hate it.
I didn't. And I'm actually excited to get some things from that movie. So those masks that apparently should come out.
They were behind. They really dropped the ball on the marketing for this. I'll say that because I remember when they put out the pre-orders, because just like you got turned on to vinyl, I still love my Halloween vinyl, and I ordered all the Ends vinyl, like a couple of different exclusives from a few of the different places, and I'm looking at the dates, like, I'm like,
fuck, how far is that out?
I'm like, did that say January of 2023? I go, the movie's coming out next month.
What the fuck? You want everybody to fucking cancel their orders? What do you want?
I mean, you look at it this way. This is I think you could get it digitally. I think you can get it digitally, the soundtrack, or I'm not even sure. I never even looked. But it's like, when did you ever go to a movie where the soundtrack didn't come out at the same time? Every movie for Halloween, the soundtrack came out. Well, aside from like the original, until they really started doing them. 2018, the soundtrack was readily available.
Yeah,
Kills, it was readily available. This one, okay, the movie's coming. It was October? Was it 14th or 15th when it came out? Yeah. Okay, well, you can get the vinyl and the DVD, the cassette, or actually they are having cassettes of it because I'm getting that too. The CD, you'll get it in January. It's like January.
I think it's just a way to spread out the release. and have you continue to think about it? Like
Maybe that's a marketing thing.
Yeah, you get out there, you buy this in January, and it's like, oh damn, maybe I should go back and watch it. You know,
I just thought that was the most odd thing. I'm like, really? I'm like, and I get the whole thing with the supply chain, but you had a whole year to say, okay, let's order all this shit now, so there's no delay in getting the vinyl, so it could be out for that. And I'm hoping it doesn't backfire because, like I said, there is not a lot of love for ends. So, I mean, collectors like us will probably buy stuff. I'll probably buy the masks. Just to keep the masks in the collection. That's something that I'll buy from each of the movies. I have the mask from each of the movies. So that's where I say I'm just like 1 and 2. And Halloween 3 didn't have a lot of shit up until like the last 2 years. So that's why I kind of included it. I'm like, yeah, but if this, because I do, everybody's ride or die with Michael Myers, but I do like Halloween 3.
Oh yeah.
But I collected it because I'm like, there isn't much to collect, but now there's a lot of fucking shit.
Yeah, I want the MDS 3-pack. Is it Sideshow? Is it the Living Dead dolls?
Living Dead dolls, yep.
Yeah, I don't have them as of yet. I'm on the verge of getting them. I think they're just fucking badass. They're on my radar. I had another one out there. There was an exclusive, I think Fear Factory. It was a charred Chucky. Little NECA. I'm a big fan of NECA, and there was a charred Chucky that got released. When I tried to get it on pre-order, it sold out, and everybody's fucking getting it now, and it's driving me crazy. So I have to buy it after the fact. It's going to cost me an arm and a leg. So I want the charred Chucky. What else is out there that I'm looking for?
You've been really looking at that Chucky.
Yeah, there's the sideshow, the big sideshow, the bloody version. What's that one called? What's it called?
Big sideshow, bloody version of
it's the Michael Myers sideshow. It's the bloody version. It's got like the round base. You know what I'm talking about? How is it sideshow?
Oh, is it the PCS one, the tall one where they have different versions?
PCS one. Yes, that one. Yes. There's a shop nearby that has it, and it's been there for how long?
It's a long time.
It's been there. It's been there for a couple years. And it's a pretty penny, but I have it on my radar. I really want that one. Oh my God. That would be just, that's one piece that I really want. You walk by it and you're just like, one day you're mine, bitch. You're mine, motherfucker. One day you mine. It's in great shape. And there's another item that I can't stop thinking about. I'm going to buy it, but I haven't got it yet for whatever reason, but you have it. I saw that you just posted some pictures about it, but the Halloween 2 from Trick or Treat.
Oh, the Halloween 2 figure.
Halloween 2, man. That son of a bitch
looks did a nice job on it. Yep.
Amazing. And not only is it amazing, you get all those extra, accessories, man. That shit's fucking mwah.
Yeah, Trick or Treat, they're really doing real well with those figures. I mean, of course, the price jumped because they're $200, but it does make a difference. Everybody's complaining, and like I said, you pay with your pocket. People are going to buy them. They're going to charge $200. I can complain all I want, but did I buy it for $200? I bought it for $200. So
I would, and to me, it's better than the original release from Trick or Treat, the fucking the 78 one. I think the H2 one's better because you get more shit. You're paying what was it, $70-$80 more? I don't remember exactly what the pricing was, but because it was like $120, right? The original,
like $125. Some of them I think were a little higher. Some of them might have been like $150. I know. Yeah. I remember the 2018 was $150.
Yeah, the very first one, the 78 one, I think was like $120.
Yeah, it was like 120, 125, something like that. But yeah, now.
And then the 4 and 5 are like 160, something like that. And then this one is the highest price. The H2 is $200. But you get a head sculpt, you get a bunch of the other, accessories and shit. So I think, that's worth the price. I think it comes with a premium because you're getting all this extra shit. So I'm excited about that. Like I might open that bitch. I consider myself a inbox collector. I might have to open that bitch up. I don't know.
With the move, he's been inkling to open something, and I'm like, you spend so much money
I don't give a shit. I want to open it up. It's
My
too much
question
space.
is, can you readily replace it?
Probably not. But I still want to just open it and, get my hands on it, Get my hands
It was
on
like we would just watch. When my wife was recuperating, we started binge watching The Office, so we watched the whole Office. Now, I mean, she's everything's okay now, thankfully. But we've been binge watching The Big Bang Theory because we've watched a lot of them, but we never seen every single one of them. So we've been watching them. I don't know if are you familiar with a lot of the Big Bang Theory? So it just so happened that was it last night or the night before we were sitting. Actually, that's what I was watching before when I talked to you. I was sitting watching with her. It was the episode where Penny, she just got that job working with Bernadette and she's making a decent amount of money and went out and bought them. Oh no, it was the residuals from the commercial she was doing. It was before she has that job, and she bought them the transporter, the original Star Trek in the box.
Yes.
And she bought one for Sheldon and she bought one for Leonard. And she's like, okay, let's open up. Like, no, this is a box. You can't open this. And my wife looked at me like,
I agree. I'm with you.
She's just like, and I'm like, I agree 100%. Don't open that shit up.
I love the writers. I love the writers for that. I love it. I love it. Look, and we're not prejudiced against, out of box collectors. You have your reasonings, not our preference. We choose to not do that. But if that's what you want to do, you do that behind closed doors. Just don't let me see you do it. Okay. I don't need to see it.
If you take out something that you could easily put away, but a lot of the stuff you can't. Like if something's in a blister pack, you open it up, it's done. I mean, not that it's done. Or you do what some collectors do. If you got the deep pockets, you just buy two of everything. And I'm like, I can't buy two of everything. This shit's freaking expensive. I mean, I do have one or two things that are open where I could afford to buy something. Like the one thing that I can still kick myself for is I should have got two of the Bob and Myers bobbleheads.
Yes. That's a good point.
Yes. I plan on eventually getting another one because I want to keep it out on my desk with the hedge one because I bought a second hedge one. And those aren't bad because those will go back in the box very easily. Even if you wanted to take them out, you can put them back. Even a lot of the stuff in boxes you can easily take and put back. But the thing that also becomes another problem is that one spot that you had that box in where it stayed. Now you have to store two things because you're not going to throw the box away.
That's right.
So now you put that figure in that spot. Now you took that box and you're like, okay, now what do I put all these boxes?
That's right.
You're not going to throw them out. So it's you need twice the space.
Well, we're not as fortunate as you, my friend, to get boxes in the best
beautiful
condition.
box.
Because some of us
we were out of box collectors for those.
My shit arrived like somebody took that shit and started kicking it around like Ace Ventura.
Yeah, you really
at the beginning of the movie, I was kicking my shit around. I have the boxes, but they're torn to shit. So those are the only things that are out of box. Was the one that you just mentioned, the Bob. And then the one behind the hedge, and what else? There's another one.
I think we have three out of boxes.
3 out of boxes.
Because all the boxes were trash.
They came fucked up. I think somebody had it out for Michael Myers, fuck this motherfucker.
I don't know. What
was another box?
Was it like the Jim Carrey when he was in Ace Ventura and he's like,
yes, that's what I'm saying. He's like
kicking it and everything. And I'm like, man,
fragile and all that shit. That's what they did to my shit, man. I was fucking. So I still need all of those. I have the Ghost Bob in the box is good. I have the young Michael Myers. Yeah. He's good. The only one that I don't have, is the bloody Michael Myers.
Oh, with the blood on the fence?
Yeah. That's
on the railing, I should say, not the fence, the railing in front. Yeah.
That's the only fucking one I don't have. So
they didn't put many of those out, and with Hot Topic, they because I mentioned it on my video when I did it. I said, guys, just wait. If they're selling Hot Topic, is going to put them back out. That's why I told people about the Bob one. Don't go crazy spending $200-$300.
Oh yeah,
from these jackasses that are buying it all up and then just to put it on eBay. I said because these things sold like hotcakes. Hot Topic is going to have them. And if you go in the collectors group now, people are posting that they're finding them in the Hot Topic stores
like crazy.
So it's like I tell everybody, just believe me, I'm that guy that's got to have it immediately. But as I've gotten older, I've gotten wiser and said, you know what, this is selling. They're going to have more, and so far so good with that theory. But that one, for some reason, they didn't bring that one back.
I don't know.
They did it for a limited time, and then that was it. You didn't see it again.
Yeah, and that one I could get it, but I'd have to pay like like triple its price. Like
Yeah.
original. And I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I want to fucking do that. Like, I wait, I have one with no blood and it looks just fine.
It's okay.
Maybe I just take some fucking blood and spray it on it, like
Your finger will just go splat.
Yeah, custom, motherfucker. And be careful of those fakes out there, by the way. There's a lot of fakes out there. So do your fucking homework. That's another fucking tip that I can throw out there, because you might think that you have the real deal in your collection, and it's fucking full of shit. So just be mindful of that.
Well, certain things, in the Myers world that I can think of off the top of my head is like, the one figure.
Movie Maniac with the O in Halloween.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
No, it's a NECA.
Cult classic.
It's a NECA. It's a NECA.
Yeah, that's right. That's the one right here. That's the real one. But the other one with the O is white.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to look for that. And then one of the biggest things is one of the purchases I just got, the 2600 cartridge, because there's repro boxes, repro booklets, and the cartridges too. They're making it look so damn good. It's just like you got to. That's why I did that when I did that video. I said, well, and if somebody saw that video and now they're going to make the box that way, I don't know, because there's those printer's marks inside the box that have to be there. And because in that, I said, if you look at the back of the box where it says for one player is in orange, a lot of the repro boxes, it was in white. But then I went looking and they're doing the repro boxes in orange.
These motherfuckers.
So, okay, motherfucker. Do you know the fake ones are written in white? Now we're going to do it in orange. So now they look exactly alike. So now you have to open it up and look inside for that little printer's mark. Thankfully, that's there. If you see that printer's mark inside the box,
all you collectors, listen to this shit. This is valuable and free information that's going to save you money, and not fucking just throw money away. So
and it's cool because they're rare as hell to get. So if you want to spend $150 on a repro, and as long as they tell you it's a repro, go ahead and do it. Who cares? You want to display it? That's your collection. Do whatever the hell you want to do. But if they're telling you it's real and they want to charge you a couple of grand, then that's a different story. Because I dealt with that for years when I collected Kiss stuff, because there was a lot of people hawking reproductions of shit, especially those Kiss Miko dolls in the boxes. They were doing the repro boxes and sticking the dolls in there, saying they were real, and they're charging you, $1,200 for a set. They did it with that. They did it with a bunch of that stuff. So you really had to have an eye for it. So there's always somebody out there. There's always somebody out there that's trying to screw you.
It seems like anything that you're into, there's always somebody out there trying to scam you. So collecting is just one of those things. There's always fakes. I almost got duped a couple times, and Google goes a long way. Okay,
research
goes a long way. And this is something that I think, for future spotlights and for future videos for your channel, just an idea is, so much about these fakes and all that stuff. You should do highlights on fakes to look out for. Yeah, that would be a very popular video that people can Google, hashtag, and then motherfuckers, you give them free information because you're giving it out. It might as well put out in a time of need.
And one of the things the other thing is, which I've been meaning to do a spotlight video on all the lobby cards and the photo stills that I have, because I have tons of them, and it's going to be a big undertaking between the U.S. lobby cards, and I have German ones, I have Spanish ones, I have French ones, I have a lot of them. And the thing is, you got to make sure that those are real too, because it's just photos. Anybody can just go make photos, and it's usually by the photo stock. You can usually tell, because it's very hard to just age that. So you can tell just by the way it is. Because people ask me, how do you know they're real? I'm like, you can tell just from looking at them and certain markings on them. Because there's actually a guy that's been selling fake ones for years. He still does it on eBay. So if you ever see, there's some place that he sells them, he's saying they're original Halloween lobby cards, and they're not. The original Halloween never had U.S. lobby cards. They had photo stills, but they didn't have lobby cards. The original Halloween had no fucking budget. There wasn't a lot of shit, for advertising. They're actually, I think, Australian ones, and he hawks them as the original ones. And it's funny because he's been selling them on there. Got to be 10, 15 years, and it's just like, so you would think somebody would wise up and just sit there and say, "Has he got like 12 cases of them in his fucking basement?"
Perhaps.
He never runs out of them.
Yeah.
It's like
it just lets you know that there's a lot. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't do their homework, and they yeah, who knows? I might have shit in my collection that I don't know when I first started collecting that's fake. I don't know. It just sucks that there's people out there preying on people, that don't know.
Yeah,
Don't know better.
just,
That's shameful as fuck. So
look, we're all collectors. I've said it before, on spotlights or on the podcast. I said, look, we're collectors. We're not competitors.
yeah.
I do this because for years I watched people's content, and there's a lot of people that show collectible stuff on there, but mostly the Halloween or horror content I watch, and that's when I said, what, it'd be fun to just do it myself. Why not? Look, everybody wants, just why share this ugly face with my wife? I just can share it with everybody on YouTube.
You got that Dr. Loomis look coming in.
The Dr. Loomis, yeah, it's starting to get here a little bit.
What do you think, honey? Dr. Loomis?
It's getting here.
Oh shit!
I shot him 7 times.
Shut up, there right now.
That's the H2 Loomis. I shot him 7 times.
Not 6, like part 2 is 7. 7. I tell you.
So that's actually what I got to get for. Actually, maybe I should have put that on my Christmas list. The Dr. Loomis, the Tots costume.
Yeah,
That's
like $80.
I don't know if did I tell you this, what the wife said, because I was letting everything go. She's like, "What are you rolling in the beard?" I said, "No, I'm working on filming the sides in, and then I'll trim all this." So for my Dr. Loomis cosplay, she's like, "Doctor who?" I said, "Dr. Loomis from Halloween." She's just like, "Seriously?" I said, "Yeah." I said, because somebody mentioned it one day, because most people see me on the podcast. I always have a hat on, but there's nothing up there. Well, there's more than nothing up there or in here. So somebody said one day, like, "Oh man, you do a good Dr. Loomis if you fill this in." So my wife's just like, "Okay, so you're telling me that I have to sleep with Donald Pleasance?"
Yeah.
There's worse things in life. One of the best actors ever.
And she's like, "This is my life now." I said, "Well, you said for better or worse, sickness and health." And
I tell you what, though, at least you're wearing a very high quality hat.
Yes, this is the Universal Horror Nights one.
Yes, it is. And I didn't get it for whatever reason. I'm jelly. I like that hat, my friend. That looks fucking sweet.
This is like my favorite Halloween hat now. This is the one I pretty much wear. I got a couple other ones over there, but I think this is my favorite one now.
It's fucking great. I love it. I saw it. And I was like, oh, I want to talk to him about it. It's real nice. Anyway. Really
so, you guys have anything to add? But we could end this, and we could chat afterwards if you guys want to hang out. But this way, we'll keep this.
I don't know if the honey is tired. I got some other things I'd like to spotlight, and we could talk about while we're live. I wanted to cover these reaction figures because they, from what I remember seeing them, and they were part of one of the first couple things I collected on top of that pop, and they were pretty cool. They're super sweet, and you see reaction figures everywhere nowadays.
Yeah,
they're called Super 7s or whatever. Super 7, because they're a play on what are those fucking toys back in the day?
I used to have them, and I'm trying to remember what the hell they were.
Like the G.I. Joes. Who made those?
G.I. Joes, but they were different ones, and I can't remember the name of what the hell they were.
Yeah, like Kenner. It was like the brand was called Kenner.
The brand was usually Kenner.
Yeah. And it was like, but I don't remember what the fuck they were called. They were like, fuck, I can't remember. All right. So I guess what we'll do is go from, I guess, earliest to newest, and the earliest being the OG, which I think you have in your collection, is Mikey Myers, the horror series reaction figure. This guy was cool because I paid a pretty penny for him. I know he had been opened, and it's a resealed.
It's a resealed one.
It's resealed, but I remember this is the first one that I saw, and I just had to have it. And I've seen others that were not open, but I love the fact that when they resealed him, they put the fucking knife in his hand. See it?
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah. So the non-opened one, the knife is just taped because it still got the original tape in there. It's like, where is it at? See the tape right there on the side? It's still there. The knife would have been right there, but they took it out and they put it in his hand for display, and they resold it, and I bought it as is. So I don't give a shit. I love it.
The thing that was weird about those, there was certain places advertised them with the backing card showing the H5 mask.
Really?
So when I ordered one, because like, that must have been like a variant. So because that is the H5 mask. So I'm like, okay, Let me go see if they have it.
There.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this one's old. Oh, are you talking about the backing like the back here?
Yeah, they had a picture of the Don Shanks with the mask on.
Really?
But when I ordered it, because I was like, okay, it's a variant. It came and it was that one. I'm like, well, why the hell did they have that artwork if it was completely different?
They didn't have the artwork.
They didn't have that one.
They were dumb.
Why they did it, I have no idea. I've never seen it, so I'm just assuming it was a typo or something. I was like, oh wow, cool. They have one with the H5 on the backing card, so I'm like, I'll buy it. And the Myers looked exactly the same. It didn't have like a different, it didn't have the Myers mask where it's got the whole neckline and shit.
Yeah.
But I got it and I was just like, all right, so I have a spare. I'm like, all right. Back then they were only like $10. They were cheap when they first came out. They were only like $10.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much I paid for that. It'd be stupid. And then for the ones that I find, and these you can actually still actively find at like your local. What's the place that we go to at the mall?
At the mall?
At over here.
FYE?
FYE has them.
We've seen them at Heroes and Fantasy.
Heroes has them. Bunch of places still have these, but these are super fun. Case in point, Miss Laurie Strode from Halloween 2.
Mm-hmm.
Pristine condition. This is one that you can find. They couldn't stop him. He's back.
Yeah, they did a nice job with the H2 ones with the Laurie Strode. Yeah, I like them. I was hoping they come out with more from each film, and they're affordable too. What are they, like $19.99?
Yeah, they are $20. They're exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, like I remember like the original ones when they first came out with back when I think I'm pretty sure I paid like $10. I mean, so all right, yeah, with inflation, I can $19.99 is still not bad.
It's reasonable.
And you get the nice card here with the good, H2 pumpkin and stuff, and
yeah,
she's super great. She comes with a little handgun. It's kind of taped to the side, right there. And she's really fun. I mean, Laurie kicks ass. She's great. Of course, this guy, he is just phenomenal.
The end of the evening.
I think we got spoiled with this release because he comes with the most accessories. He comes with the hammer, which he used to kill. I don't want to say his name because he recently just passed. The sheriff in that movie, or the security guard.
Security guard, yeah, Cliff Emick just died.
He died, and you got the hammer that's right there, which is a great kill, by the way. And then you have the knife that's up top here. Then you have the fucking scalpel, and then the needle on the other side. So literally all the weapons he used to kill motherfuckers he has in this. And this is, if you're a collector and you're looking for this is one you gotta have. You gotta have this in the collection because you can display him if you're an out-of-box collector in multiple ways. So this one, you get a lot of bang for your $20. A lot of bang. A lot of bang. That's a fun one. I never really got a chance to talk about that one.
If somebody took that out, or say if you took that out, what would be the weapon you would put in his hand?
Oh, the scalpel. The scalpel.
Gotta be the scalpel, I guess. Yeah.
Gotta be scalpel. Second would be the hammer. Third would be the syringe. The syringe. So these are the new releases from Fright Rags, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, these were. It's funny. I just recorded a video, like I said the other day, with Brian, Chicago Boogeyman, which is going to premiere. It's going to be our year-end review of our top 10 Halloween items that we picked up this year.
Oh, nice.
And I'm not going to say where these land, but they definitely scored high on both of our lists.
Fuck yeah, because they're wonderful. When they arrived, they were shipped perfectly. And the characters that they chose were amazing. Totally amazing.
Yeah, the stuff they put on that, even like all the send away fake stuff on the back and everything.
Yes. Super cool, man. He's got the nice sheen on it.
The second wave is supposed to come next year.
Oh, I saw the announcement and I saw oh my God. That's going to be really fun. Loomis, you got Annie. What else did I see?
It was Loomis, Annie, and I think it was Brackett, right?
It was Brackett. Cool. Brackett, dude. Yes. I was like, take my money, bitches. Take my money.
I know. It's just like, oh, here we go. Thank you. Just here's the wallet. Just take everything.
I'm like, hey, do you want a figure of me? I'm
Just
Dr.
have it on
Loomis. Here you go.
Well,
We
aren't they
have
supposed to be, I think Tots is doing. I think was it Tots talking about? Somebody posted where they're at a convention. They were showing pictures. I think of Tots supposed to might come out with Laurie Strode figure and a Loomis figure. That's what I'm pretty sure I heard.
that's gonna have to be a purchase, man. God damn it!
I know. It's just like, oh, God, I've been getting a little bit of a break because the Halloween hype sort of died down a little bit. I'm like, oh, it's like a breather. And I'm like, come on, guys. No.
Bro, all we're missing is a fucking Loomis and a Lori. That's it.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking young Michael and I'll be straight. You know what I'm saying?
No, give it time.
Patience is a virtue.
Well, you know what's good about this is if you remember the first when they released H1, they did 4 or 5.
Yeah, Sam Hain, 4 or 5.
The Sam Hain version, they did it all at once. And I was like, oh, and I'm like, you're looking at like $900 off the bat.
Yeah.
It's like do them little by little. It's a little bit of an easier, blow to your pocket. So if they do them, I'm hoping they stagger them.
They were smart because the people who run the company are around with the late 30s, 40s range. So their infatuation may be 4 or 5. So I think they try to encompass the broad range of people. So like the OGs and then their age range. That was the only reason I think that's why they did it that way, to try to get as many people as they could to introduce their products. Now that they've hook, lined, and sinkered us, now whatever they release, we're like, we'll take it. We want it. Because you know what I mean? Like, honestly, you give me a fucking Lori and a Loomis, that's guaranteed cash in your pocket, my bro. Guaranteed fucking money. They just got to get the licensing and they're straight. And if we keep getting good shit like this, look at this.
Yeah, that's just.
There we go.
Honey
I just love how, and it's great because like they went through the trouble. Like Fright Regs always does some real nice stuff to personalize each card instead of just making it, the same card with the different figures and their name on it. They just personalized their pictures and everything on the back. They just went above and beyond with these. I mean, granted, if you remember, what were they, about a year wait?
Yeah, long as hell.
They were long as hell.
Accessories too.
Her accessories, what are they? They got the wire hanger, the butcher knife, and then the fucking badass pumpkin. And this is what made her so iconic. Was she was so inventive that she was on the verge of getting killed that she took a wire hanger, unraveled it, and stabbed him in the fucking eyeballs. And then he dropped his knife, and she used that to stab his ass. So if that's not overcoming and adapting in your environment, I don't know what is. So that's what makes her the best scream queen around, in my opinion.
And us the geeks who know all the goofs and gaps of the movie, they should have included 2 different color wire hangers in there.
Yes, they should have.
A white one, and a white one.
That's right. God damn. And that's what's the best about this is like no one else would have known about that. And you know what? If they would have put both in that, well,
the guy that does the Fright Reg stuff, I think what's his name? Is his name Bob or something? Every once in a while, when he does a release, you see it on Instagram. That's when he started the company. He's a fanatic. I mean, they have a lot of licenses from other horror movies, but fanatical Halloween collector. So that's why if it was in there, I could see that because I'm sure he knows every little bit that we know.
What I love here is if you look at the top corner, it says adult collectible, not a toy.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, motherfuckers, take that. Wouldn't it?
For us collectibles who collect figures, and every time I get a new figure, my wife's like, another figure? She says another doll. She never calls them figures. Another doll? I'm like, it's a figure. She's like, it's a doll. I'm like, it's a figure.
It's a figure. Stop it.
It's an elevator. It's a Wonkavator.
It's a Wonkavator. That's right. Oh, she loves fucking, oh my gosh. All right.
No, stop. Don't.
No, don't. Stop. Yeah. I love it. I love that guy. And then last, but certainly not least, the fucking man himself, the one, the only, Michael Myers. And God damn, look at that Judith Myers gravestone. Look at that shit. That is sexy as fuck.
And
I like to carry that in my wallet. I don't know if that's
I love
weird.
the shot that they use too, the head shot on the backing card.
Yes, right
Like
here.
that's the behind the scenes headshot.
Mhm.
Yes, look at that. So good. And you know, when I first got the first reaction figures and these released, you know, it creates that nostalgia. Like, man, I have those. I gotta get these. And you know how it is as a
He's a
collector.
completist.
You gotta have
Right
it
there
all.
too.
Gotta have it all. I don't have his collection, but you know, we're getting there.
But once you start with one,
We're
you
getting
need all
there.
10.
We're getting there.
Well, I'll show you what a
And that's
completist I
okay.
am. If you remember the one collectible spotlight I did on the Don Post, the mask in a jar,
Yeah.
and there's two versions, which I had not originally known until I did the research before I did that collectible spotlight. There was one that was, I think it was a 1998 release and a 2000 release, and it's different because of the labeling on it, and there's two different UPC numbers, and the marking on the mask on the 98, which I have, is embossed, and the 2000 one, it's like a tag on the inside.
Oh.
Mhm.
And I just found the missing one that I didn't have on eBay, and I should have it in a couple of days.
Excellent.
Hey, nice. Nice.
I would never have thought to even give it a second look had I not done that collectible spotlight and realized there were actually, in essence, two different releases of it. And I knew, so when I looked on eBay, fortunately the person that had it up there had a lot of great pictures of it and showed inside the mask where the label was, and it's a separate label, showed the UPC, he did all the stuff, and I went back to my video, double checked everything, I said, oh, there's the one I need.
God damn. Just when I thought you couldn't get any sexier.
I'll show a little leg.
Fuck, man. I love that. And that is the fuel that fuels what we do. It's I didn't know that. I love that moment when you're like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had no idea until I started. I figured, let me just do a look, because a lot of people reached out to me and said, "Oh, is that real? That stupid little mask in a jar?" I said, "No, yeah, that was a Don Post release. That was the Don Post mask in a jar, and they released it under that. I think it was Lobotomy, and then it was something Pickled Punks." I said, so I did some research, found pictures of everything, and then when I was looking at comparing the two pictures of, the two different catalogs where they released it, it had two different numbers, like catalog numbers. I'm like, why is there two catalog numbers here?
No, I had that second one.
That's when I looked up some more pictures and I was like, oh, wait a second. There was actually two different. I mean, they look the same. Actually, this one looks different, and you'll see when I post it. The mask actually looks a little bit different too. So it's kind of cool, which I never realized until I did that little bit of research. And I was like, and the same thing when I did. I think we were talking about this one day, Joe, when I did the well, I'm going like it's here, but they're all packed away.
Yeah.
The was it the NECA bobblehead?
Yeah,
two different writings on the front of it, which I never realized. One,
that's right.
It says Michael Myers in like red blood, like a spray paint type thing, and then the other one is just like the logo.
Yes,
and I never knew that too until I started, being a real geek and researching this shit. I'm like, oh wow, there's another one I got to get now. Damn it!
Is it the bobblehead or is it the snow globe?
The Wacky Wobbler.
Oh, the Wacky Wobbler. That's right. That's right. I got that one because of you. Hold on. Hold on.
It's your fault. You did this to me.
God damn it.
It's all my fault.
I think he likes to play the blame game. I got it all started. You continued it.
And this is the one that I didn't have this before, but this is the one that I got.
That's
I
the
don't
one
have the other one.
So if you look at
I
the
got
bottom,
Yeah,
where
sure.
it's written like no, like on the front of it. If you look at the front,
Yeah, the front,
which
the
says
front.
Michael Myers, it's like the logo, like it's like the font, the typical Halloween font.
Yes.
But there's another one where when it came out, it was just in red, like spray paint writing that said
Yes.
Michael
spray
Myers.
paint,
Oh.
yes.
Which I'm
I
like,
don't have that.
when I was looking at, the only reason I realized it when I was doing a research trying to find pictures of certain things, I'm like, wait a second, there's two versions. I'm like, oh god, now there's another one I gotta buy. Son of a bitch.
I can't find that bitch for the life of me unless
I can't find it either. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So every time they pop up, the first thing I do is I look to see the front of the box. I'm like, oh, it's the one I have already, so forget it. And
Yeah.
that's what I was doing with the mask in the jar. I saw it pop up like a week ago on eBay, and I'm like, oh, let me just double check and just make sure. And I'm like, ooh, it's the one I don't have.
That's right.
Hmm.
It's that commonality when somebody has something that you have. There's two reactions you could have. The first one is be like, fuck you. Yeah, fuck you. The second one is, I'm glad that they found it because it was a pain in the ass for me to find. You have that appreciation. And I think for the most part, my appreciation comes from that. It's like, it took me time to find this bitch. Either they got it early on or they had to pay out of the ass to get it now. So you appreciate fellow collectors because it's not easy.
Maybe it took them the same amount of time.
Yeah.
It's the passion for the hunt.
Yeah, and it's serendipitous. Like, you're not looking for it, and then you'll fucking find that bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
sometimes the shit pops up, and you're like, "Oh, wait a second." When and it's usually when where I was trying to have a moratorium on buying things because it's Christmas, and we bought so much shit because there was so much stuff this year. I'm like, oh, thankfully nothing's really been popping up, and that popped up, and I was like, but I got it for a good price. So I think they had it up there for $100, and I just sent them an offer for $80, and they took it.
And let's get something straight. I want to put this out there so all the viewers, if you have a budget for collecting, there's nothing wrong with having a budget.
You got to.
Wrong. You have to budget. I'm not made of money. My honey's not. We work our asses off every day. We get up, we go to work. The only way we collect is because we budget everything out. I know I do. Okay. I fast. I don't eat breakfast every day. I eat lunch. I eat one time, and then we come home, have dinner, and that's typically without snacking. That's what I eat. I do snack though. My money that I don't use for breakfast, I put away, and I use as my collecting money. Okay, that's a true statement. So if you can't save and you can't budget, collecting may not be for you right now. Okay, take the time and have a budget. Don't put your family in fucking dire straits because you want the fucking new whatever that just came out. Don't do that shit.
That's the thing, I always try to put stuff in like my little PayPal account, and I just have stuff there in case stuff pops up. Yes. And I feel for people now because there's been a few people over the years since I started the collectors group in Facebook that are like, oh, just getting into collecting now, and I'm like, oh, you don't know what you're getting into, man. You might not want to start now.
Idea.
Because you want to buy because they'll see like me post pictures of like some of the rarer stuff or the vintage stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, where did you get that? How much? I said, well, I paid this. And like, well, they're telling me it's triple the price now. It's like, well, I bought it when it came out, and so a lot of this stuff I've had for years, and I paid face value for it. So to get that stuff now, you got to pay like double and triple. So it's like when I used to collect Kiss memorabilia, it got to the point where I stopped doing it because it just became out of hand. I mean, do you think Halloween's expensive? Oh, that original stuff from the 70s? I couldn't, Jesus Christ, one thing's $1,000.
Yeah, I know. Star
There's
Wars.
other things $500. I mean,
Star Wars is out of this fucking world.
Star Wars, the vintage original Star Wars stuff, that shit's out of hand too.
If you're looking for collectibles, you go to the same shops that other shit's being stored at and sold at, and you'll come into fucking things. You're like, what the fuck? Like these Kenner Star Wars things, like fucking ridiculous amounts of money. You're like, what the fuck? Like, I'm good. I'm glad I'm over here in my little Halloween world.
It's what people will pay for it.
Yeah. It's, these signatures, whatever, you got to watch out for fake. It's fucking collecting is what you make it. If it fits in your price range and go, hey, ball out, do your thing. You got money, do it. But if you don't have the money, it's not that big of a deal. Don't fucking go crazy and, try to be like these people out there that try to haggle and do all this stuff. Look, know your worth.
Be proud of your collection. They'll get there when it gets there.
Yeah, and don't try to fucking lowball people, or don't try to be these assholes that go out and buy up everything and then try to resell it for a profit. We don't do that kind of stuff. I
don't do that stuff. I mean, I've sold stuff over the years just to buy other things. Usually, if something came along, basically, I told a story where a lot of the Rob Zombie stuff, when I made a conscious decision just to sell that off, I mean, not for no other reason other than to just raise capital for some things I was buying at the time. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll just move that. I'll eliminate that part of my collection. Yeah. because there's other stuff from the original movies that I'm getting, like when I bought the film reels and all that other stuff, because that's the stuff that I'm like, well, I liked all that stuff. I hated to part with it because as a collector, you don't want to get rid of stuff, but it's like there's times where you're like, all right, well, I can sell this and I can get that.
Right. That's different. There was one convention we went to, or it was like a pop-up con. Do you remember? It was, I think, Miko Hughes, and this one guy.
Oh yeah.
This one guy was selling the Pet Cemetery pops for $40 a piece, and they were Walmart exclusives, except we couldn't find them at Walmart. He openly admitted, he goes, no, I went to all of the Walmarts and bought them. I'm like, they're like $12 at Walmart, and now you're selling them for $40 just because
he had them all on his fucking
them.
table. And I was like, motherfucker, I spent 2 weekends looking for that shit, and you're the reason why they were.
He's like, no, I just spent a couple days and I went to all of the Walmarts and picked them up.
And one more quick, fast fucking story, which is crazy. I went to Target the other day, and I didn't even get a chance to tell you this story. So I go to the collectible area. They have all the collectibles and shit, and it was just early, and I look on the floor, and there's fucking somebody sleeping on the floor. In Target.
What?
In Target, bro. They have a pillow. They're sleeping on the floor.
Really?
So I'm like, all right, whatever.
It's not that serious.
And Wednesdays, and from what I understand from the people that I talk to at the local, Targets, around Tuesday, Wednesday mornings is when they get the new shipments in of the NECAs, right? That's a little insider thing here in South Texas. Well, apparently I was there and I was looking for some stuff and they hadn't put nothing out. But I went to this guy, hey, I'm looking for this one figure. And this guy's like, no, we're probably going to put them out probably within the next couple of hours. And he's like, but don't worry, this guy, he's been here waiting for that.
What?
This motherfucker was fucking sleeping in Target waiting for them to put out the new NECA shit on the shelves, bro. And they allowed it. They allowed it.
They allowed that.
They allowed it. And I'm like, so this is why when I see on Instagram, on whatever fucking websites that I'm following, that they release something via Target, Target's my first stop that I like to go and look at. You got motherfuckers camping over to fucking pick up our collectibles.
They allow that.
And that's why we can't get our hands on anything. And I didn't know, maybe he's friends with whoever. I don't fucking know his story. But the motherfucker's sleeping there, camping out, waiting for shit to be put out.
This is like for a personal collection, not for a profit.
Yeah, and from what I understood, he was waiting for a certain Ninja Turtle release. I don't know if it was like Taka and Razor or some shit like TMNT 2 or some shit. But they would die hard motherfuckers. So if you telling me they put that shit out, one guy's going to go ahead and just swipe his card, buy all that, and then resell it for a profit. I was like, that's hard for us in-person buyers. But I don't know if anybody's ever seen something like that. I just had to share that.
No, I've seen guys buy multiple of things. Like I've been to Halloween City, which is like the party city, pop up and see, there were a lot of things people were looking for and people were buying them all up. Or like I've been in Spirit, seeing people there with like 4 or 5 different. I remember when Spirit came out with the Myers light up bus with the pumpkin a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I remember going there and seeing it. I'm like, oh, cool. I got mine. And then the guy behind me had 5 of them. He took the rest of them off the shelf.
Oh my gosh.
The only reason I got that one, he would have had all 6 probably, is because I just happened to get there when they were opening. We both walked in and I was ahead of him. And I got mine. I grabbed it. Then I turned around and I saw his little cart. He had all the other ones. So I'm sure they were on eBay that afternoon. The best is I think I was breaking on one of the spotlights. I just jive at these assholes that buy this shit and do this. I remember one time if you go on eBay, it's like you'll see people buy the shit that they're doubling the price up, and they won't even get out of the store. They take the picture of the shit in the fucking cart, and you can tell it's still in the shopping cart.
That is pathetic.
It's like, seriously, you didn't even get out the door yet. These assholes, not even out the door, and they're doubling the price. It's still in the goddamn cart. Or the people that sell those idiots that sell their pre-orders now.
You raggedy bitch.
Seriously, guys? It's like, come on, go get a fucking job.
Hey, you call that scandalous. People are scandalous. Scandalous. I love it.
That's the best. I'm like looking at the picture one time. I was just like, dude, it's still in the freaking shopping cart.
You didn't even buy that. Yeah, are you selling it? It ain't even yours yet.
So,
Nice.
so we'll say this as so in closing. So I guess you guys will update people when you're gonna get your like weekly flow going as far as when you're gonna be posting stuff, and definitely let me know because I want to watch it. You have anything as far as like now I know what your page is the Over Caffeinated Collector. Are you gonna do something separate just for Moodys Mind or?
No, we've updated our personal profiles with everything. We got the YouTube channel updated with everything. So we'll just be promoting the YouTube channel itself, Moodys Mind. So it's my YouTube channel at, let me see.
It's ours now.
Yeah, let me give the specifics real quickly because I had to change the name of it. So we're at Moodys. The channel is called Moodys Mind. And then and then it goes into the Over Caffeinated Collector. So if you just type in Moodys Mind, you'll be able to see myself, Corey Taylor, and me wearing a Michael Myers mask as the photo. So check it out if you're interested. If you guys find us interesting, like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever.
Yeah, I'll put everything down below too. I'll put all the links in the video.
Yeah, man. And back at you, my dude. Your collection is out of this world. You are out of this world. Your spotlights are great. The channel that you're on, the podcast is great. We love you guys. And just thank you for having us on. I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys want, and you let me know you want to do a live one, and I'll come on and chat with you guys in your channel.
Yeah.
Hey, if I send you a link, hey man, we're doing it tonight. I have no feeling, no doubt.
Free on
talk shit.
Absolutely. So, in closing, guys, make sure everybody likes and subscribes to this channel. Make sure you go like and subscribe to their channel. And I hope everybody enjoyed sitting with us, chatting, and seeing what we have to look forward to with the podcast going forward. I'm looking forward to hanging and seeing you guys together. Oh,
all for effect. Making him jealous.
I'll let you guys run. So we'll see you guys in the next one. And thanks to Joe and MB for joining me today.
Later, my guy.